Africa, the cradle of humanity, is a continent known for its rich tapestry of cultures, languages, and beliefs. For centuries, religion has played an integral role in the lives of its people, shaping their values, traditions, and worldview. From the ancient animistic practices to the arrival of Christianity, Islam, and other faiths, Africa has always been a melting pot of spiritual diversity. This essay will delve into the complex relationship between religion and poverty in Africa, exploring how faith, often seen as a source of solace and hope, has been manipulated by some to exploit and impoverish communities. We will examine historical and contemporary examples of religious manipulation, shedding light on the tactics employed by both local and foreign religious leaders to maintain control and amass wealth at the expense of their followers. By understanding the historical context and present-day realities of religious manipulation in Africa, we can begin to dismantle the systems that perpetuate poverty and inequality. This essay calls for a critical examination of the role of religion in society, advocating for an informed and empowered populace that is resilient against exploitation in all its forms. If you found this video insightful, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, Kelvin JC. Don't forget to like, comment, and share this video to spread awareness. Long before the arrival of Christianity and Islam, Africans had their own diverse and deeply rooted spiritual beliefs. They worshipped deities associated with nature, venerated ancestors, and practiced rituals that connected them to the spiritual realm. These indigenous belief systems were intricately woven into the fabric of society, guiding moral conduct, shaping social norms, and providing a framework for understanding the world. These traditional religions emphasized community, harmony with nature, and respect for elders. They provided a sense of belonging, identity, and purpose. While some practices may seem different to outsiders, they served important social and cultural functions within their respective communities. However, the arrival of colonialism disrupted the delicate balance of African societies, including their religious landscape. European powers, driven by imperial ambitions and a sense of cultural superiority, sought to impose their own beliefs and dismantle existing structures that threatened their dominance. Colonialism in Africa was a brutal and exploitative system that relied on various tactics to subjugate and control the native population. One of the most insidious tools employed by European powers was religion. Christianity, often spread through missionary efforts, was strategically deployed to undermine traditional belief systems and create a more pliable and subservient workforce. Missionaries often worked hand-in-hand with colonial administrators, presenting Christianity as a superior religion that was essential for civilization and progress. They established schools and hospitals, providing much-needed services, but also using these institutions to instill Western values and undermine traditional ways of life. The message spread by missionaries often emphasized obedience to authority, both earthly and divine. This message resonated with the power dynamics of colonialism, making it easier for Europeans to assert their dominance over the colonized population. The exploitation of Africans through religion was not merely ideological, but also deeply economic. Colonial regimes often imposed taxes on the local population, forcing them to participate in the cash economy and enriching the coffers of the empire. Churches, often aligned with the colonial administration, played a role in enforcing these taxes, further solidifying their authority and influence. The concept of tithing, a central tenet of Christianity that requires believers to donate a portion of their income to the church, was also used as a means of economic extraction. While tithing is intended to support the church and its charitable works in colonial Africa, it often served to enrich the missionaries and fund the expansion of colonial enterprises. This system of religious taxation placed an additional burden on already impoverished communities, diverting resources that could have been used for their own development and well-being. Section 5. The Rise of the Megapastors. In the post-colonial era, while many African nations gained political independence, the legacy of colonialism and the manipulation of religion for economic gain continued. In recent decades, Africa has witnessed the rise of megapastors, charismatic religious leaders who preside over sprawling congregations and amass vast fortunes, often at the expense of their followers. These megapastors often preach a message of prosperity gospel, a controversial doctrine that equates faith with financial success. They promise their followers wealth, health, and blessings in exchange for unwavering faith and generous donations. This message is particularly appealing in contexts of widespread poverty and inequality, offering a glimmer of hope in the face of despair. Section 6. Prosperity Gospel. The promise of wealth, the reality of poverty. The prosperity gospel, while often presented as a message of empowerment and self-reliance, can be deeply exploitative. It places the onus of financial success solely on the individual, suggesting that poverty is a result of a lack of faith or divine favor. This narrative ignores the systemic factors that contribute to poverty, such as corruption, lack of access to education and healthcare, and unfair trade practices. Followers of the prosperity gospel are often encouraged to give generously to the church, with the promise that their donations will be returned to them tenfold. This creates a cycle of dependency, where individuals are pressured to give even when they can ill afford it, hoping for a miracle that may never come. Section 7. Miracles for sale. When faith becomes a commodity. The commodification of faith has become a disturbing trend in some religious circles in Africa. Miracles, healings, and other supernatural interventions are often staged or exaggerated to attract followers and generate revenue. Desperate individuals, seeking solutions to their problems, are often willing to pay exorbitant sums for a chance at a miracle. This exploitation of faith is not limited to megachurches. It can also be found in smaller, independent churches and among self-proclaimed prophets and healers who prey on the vulnerabilities of the poor and desperate. Section 8. Political pulpits, mixing religion and politics for profit. The intersection of religion and politics has also been a breeding ground for manipulation and exploitation. In many African countries, religious leaders wield significant influence over their followers, who often view them as moral authorities and guides. This influence can be leveraged for political gain, with religious leaders endorsing candidates or parties in exchange for favors, positions of power, or financial rewards. This mixing of religion and politics can undermine democratic processes, erode trust in institutions, and perpetuate corruption. It also creates a dangerous environment where dissent is silenced, and alternative viewpoints are suppressed in the name of religion. Section 9. Breaking free. The power of education and critical thinking. Breaking the cycle of religious manipulation and exploitation requires a multifaceted approach that empowers individuals and communities. Education is paramount in fostering critical thinking skills, enabling people to question dogma, challenge authority, and make informed decisions about their lives. Access to information is also crucial. Independent media, investigative journalism, and open dialogue can help expose abuses of power, hold religious leaders accountable, and provide alternative narratives to the often distorted messages preached from the pulpit. Section 10. Reclaiming our narrative. African solutions for African problems. Addressing the issue of religious manipulation also requires a decolonization of faith. Africans must reclaim their own narratives, reinterpreting religious teachings through the lens of their own experiences and values. This involves promoting indigenous knowledge systems, celebrating pre-colonial spiritual practices, and fostering interfaith dialogue that promotes understanding and respect. It also means supporting African-led religious institutions that prioritize the well-being of their communities over personal enrichment. These institutions can play a vital role in promoting education, healthcare, and economic empowerment, empowering communities to break free from the cycle of poverty and dependency. Section 11. A hopeful future towards a more equitable and just Africa. While the challenges posed by religious manipulation are significant, there is hope for a more just and equitable future for Africa. By empowering individuals with education, critical thinking skills, and access to information, we can create a society that is resilient against exploitation and manipulation in all its forms. By reclaiming our narratives, promoting African solutions, and fostering interfaith dialogue, we can build a future where religion is a source of unity, hope, and empowerment, not a tool for division, exploitation, and despair. The journey towards a more just and equitable Africa requires a collective effort, one that embraces diversity, challenges injustice, and upholds the dignity of all people.